All right, guys, welcome back. Just had a little sip of tea. June 7th here, Monday morning, 9 a.m. Sun is shining. It's actually really bright and really sunny and warm overall. This weekend had a little bit of a lake day yesterday. It was really enjoyable. Overall, pre-market today, we were getting some pretty decent actions. We had action. We had like 4, maybe even borderline 5 tickers. I didn't trade all of them. That were doing all right. I'm up $507 pre-market, which is pretty okay because I mean, as you guys know, it's been a little bit slow for me lately overall with trading. Let me actually show you guys quick little stats here. Let me go to this month. Overview. Let's see. This should be this month. June. Apply. 475. Yeah, this month. Last week was pretty much a red week the whole time until Friday. I was able to kind of get out of the hole a little bit. Let's scroll down here. Zoom in a bit. We are in May. No, that's not true. We're in June. Friday, I finally walked away with some decent profits. Tuesday was a very slow day. I didn't really get any good trades in. Wednesday was like a decent red day, actually, $500 down. Thursday, small green day. And then Friday, we were able to lock in a little bit of profits. So kind of a choppy week for me. So being up $500 pre-market right now, although in the past, if I wasn't up $1,000 pre-market, I would be like, oh, slow day. So I'm happy how it's going. It feels like we're getting a little bit more energy into the market, so that's pretty exciting. So let's see where we can take June. Hopes are moderate. But after a slow April and a very slow May, for my trading strategy particularly, I think, or for small caps as well, I think June, has a little bit of hope here for sure. LMNL, this is actually one of our lead gappers, our OG lead gapper. And the reason I'm saying that is because this one gapped up the most and was holding its highs pretty well. It's just from like 7 to 8, it didn't really do anything interesting. So there's not a lot of people that were trading it. And in the meantime, we were trading other tickers like RMED, which had a really nice front side here. Good little dip buy opportunity here when it was consolidating. AREC. I never felt comfortable with AREC, so I didn't really trade it in this front side move. I did end up getting a borderline FOMO breakout trade here, which I realized is what it was, and or was what it is. I don't know which way to say that, but I realized it was more of a FOMO trade. I quickly closed it, was able to walk away with at least a little bit of profits. Next, I traded. So you can kind of see there was a lot of stuff to be trading. NEXT is actually the only ticker I'm red on, which is really unfortunate because we had a cool little pullback trade here, locked in some profits, and we had another trade here, front side trade, locked in profits, and then forgot I was actually still in this trade, believe it or not. And that was kind of ridiculous because I didn't realize I was still in with half size. You can see I went long here, 3,000 shares. I sold 1,500 shares, and I was ready to sell another 1,500 shares, and then I think I just did something else. I totally forgot I was in this trade. I'll wait till the ambulance is gone. Yeah, but I totally forgot I was in this trade until, I don't know, sometime in this area. And I was like, okay, maybe it's going to do a little breakout here. But then it started selling off and I sold. And right after it sold, it actually did spike. Either way, it was a total mistake. So that was silly me. And actually, I only realized I was long because I was on my brokerage account. And my broker shows like shares that I'm holding. And I'm like, wait, it shouldn't show any shares here. And then I was like, oh man, maybe there was a leftover limit order or something like that. And then I realized that was long neck. So that was, that probably cost me, I don't know, about like $150 to my P&L, maybe 200. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but can't really complain about it. Spilled milk at the end of the day. Looks like LMNL is popping here, so probably worth to review with you guys. The ambulances, yeah, for missed profits. They're coming. Although most of the time it's a fire truck, believe it or not. They kind of have the same noise. We live really close to a fire station. I have this massive chestnut tree right outside my window, and it was blooming like crazy this weekend. And this morning, my eyes were, I have a little bit of hay fever. Usually it's not bad, but today, like, there is like pollen hitting my face all morning. And eventually I was just like, had a runny nose. So I went to the store and got some, what's it called? I got I don't know, spray, or I don't know. I'm doing two things at once. I cannot multitask for the life of me. I got some hay fever stuff, and I'm feeling okay. But you guys should have seen my eyes were getting puffy at one point. It was kind of ridiculous. Phone. What was the... yeah, okay. I could show you guys. I was looking for the Droid Cam. Here, let me see if it... Nope, sorry. All right, 1 second, guys. Stream is going to go down for a second. All right, I'm back. Now, it looks like I can't show you guys my phone because it looks like I have to get a newer version of the app, which I can only do at a certain website. And you know what? I don't really have the time for that right now, but I thought I was going to show you guys a little bit of outside footage. Michael says he likes the shirt. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right, let's go back to LMNL since I can't show you guys the outside. Unfortunate. Let's see here. Canadian biotech, 10 million float, 124 million market cap. This is the one we're looking at. So the shares outstanding are at 30 million and the float is at 10 million. A lot of shares locked up, probably by some sort of institution. LMNL announces voting rights of its 2021 annual and special general meeting of shareholders. It's not really a catalyst that seems too interesting. That was on the 4th, so it has some new news today. One of the top 3 search tickers on Benzinga Pro over the last 24 hours is this ticker, probably because it was a lead gap or extended hours. So it looks like the catalyst is, it's up because it's up. It's up because it's traded. I always hate those catalysts, but I think that's what we might be having. Which had binary events during the week. No, that's not it. Yeah, it's kind of a weak catalyst. But hey, at the end of the day, LMNL is kind of flying right now, so can't discount that. So it's still running from the catalyst that came out here on 3:30 p.m. on Friday. That's what it really looks like. So that's why it was popping extended hours right after the market closed. Although for the fact that the news came out at around this time, it didn't really fly till extended hours. $15 payment. %50 of patients with visible or measurable non-visible lesions achieving 50% improvement. Any sort of FDA approval is pretty big news. So LMNL, okay, has a catalyst. I missed that one before. Yeah, with a 10 million float, I mean, this thing could really pop. It's holding its highs really nice. That's what I'm liking about it the most at the moment. I think we could have a really clean open because we didn't really have a lot of over trading pre-market, and we're getting a lot of consolidation right now with all of our top gappers, LMNL, RMED, AREC, next. RMED is kind of an interesting one because it looks like this ticker is actually up because it has a high short float. Low float stocks can be some of the most volatile stocks in the market. If you mix in a short squeeze, the potential short-term gains in a low float stock can be extreme. It doesn't really seem like there's an actual catalyst on this ticker, but it's listed here as a low, high short percentage, 40% almost. So if it runs over 7.5, this thing could keep squeezing. I definitely want to keep this one on the radar. You always want to be thinking about what's the potential upside on these kind of tickers. You want to be looking for those key support zones, either if it breaks it or if it bounces back on them. Here's a good example with NEXT coming back to some major support, bouncing 6% off of it. Now it's really selling off, big sell volume. I'm not sure if I want to get super aggressive on this ticker right now. Also very spotty volume. Look at Colby looking out for the community members. I like it. Colby's got your back, Infinity Master. I think the biggest thing taking the news by storm today is the G7 conference that's been going on. Let me see where I was reading about that. I don't think it was on NPR. A lot of these, here's a good example. Remote resort town struggles to find restaurant workers for the summer season. A lot of these service industry jobs are still not being filled. Looks like Trump is starting his campaign already, or at least some efforts on it. Seems so early. Oil had a huge spike. Let's go to oil. This is the United States Oil Fund, crawling up nicely since the low of April, roughly, end of April, around 200%. It's had a nice little move here. It's going to be in the news a lot. Here's the G7 deal on global corporate tax floor faces hurdles, but it's also gaining a lot of momentum, it seems like. Here again, global tax floor at 15, a significant step. Let's quickly scroll down. Teamwork makes the corporate tax dream work. On Saturday, the finance ministers of G7 nations announced their support for a global corporate tax, minimum tax of 15. So companies pay at least 15% rate in each country they operate in. The G7, Canada, France, Germany, the US, Italy, Japan, and the UK. Obviously, Ireland is against it. They're a little bit of a tax savings loophole. We got the president of El Salvador here. Looks like they're going to put into, declare Bitcoin a national currency. This is an interesting statistic here. 70% of the population does not have a bank account. That is insane. It is so hard to picture not having a bank account in today's society. It's so hard to picture. The president, El Salvador's president, Bukele, said the Bitcoin could help streamline those cumbersome cross-border payments while promoting financial inclusion for those left out of the system. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it's there for. I also like to use Bitcoin for cross-border payments, and I do it all the time. I feel like I speak to a lot of people that are like, I don't get the value of Bitcoin. There is no value. There's a lot of value when you try to pay somebody who's in a country that, you know, doesn't have PayPal or something like that. It's very, very simple. Oftentimes I use different currencies now because Bitcoin is a little bit expensive, transaction fees. This list hasn't updated yet. I don't know if you guys saw the last video on the YouTube channel, but if you haven't, right here, 42% short interest. I kind of talk about meme stocks a little bit and short interest and what some Redditors are using for it. They talked about this site here, highshortinterest.com, and we are kind of going through the credibility of some of these numbers. Everything kind of pans out, seems pretty legit. The one thing you want to keep in mind, these numbers are up to 30 days old. And within 1 minute of trading, they're obviously different based on who's covering and who's increasing their short positions. So it's really hard to get a good kind of feel for this. But what would be really nice if there was some sort of time lapse maybe over these, and you could kind of maybe see certain tickers trending higher and higher, maybe going over 20% into the 30-40% short interest ratio. But still, if a ticker is over 40%, at least it means, you know, they were at that area for a bit. And then you could see maybe what their short ratio is, see how long a stock takes to cover, and then it could be kind of interesting for some trading. Let's go to WKHS, for example. Oops, Workhorse. A lot of these tickers, though, I can't, have already had huge moves, and I'm just not so crazy about getting aggressive on them to the front side. Short ratio of 3, so it takes an average of 3 days for all shorts to cover their positions at the current volume. That was a big spike in volume that came off. Bit of a doji / blow off top. It does look like it's kind of holding the highs here around 13. Let's go to WKHS, just look at it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely holding here. The sell volume is also quite light, so that's a good bullish sign. WKHS might be a play for sure. I mean, never really know what's going to happen, but could definitely be a play. The problem is, I mean, this thing already had 160% rally, so there's a good chance there was already a squeeze. So a little bit tougher to trade, I feel like, in these areas. Yeah, so apparently, Matt, I was diving into that article a little bit more. The majority of the people do have a smartphone, and that's technically all you need for Bitcoin. But yeah, at one point you would have to buy the Bitcoin, right? So that's the first step. So you wonder where that might start. Now, with buying Bitcoin, I have in the past myself given my friends cash and they paid me in cryptocurrency. So technically, you don't need a bank account to get cryptocurrency. That's one simple way to do it. And I've done it several times. There was one time actually just a couple of weeks ago where I had a 500 euro bill and I tried like 3 different places to deposit it and no place accepted it. It was just too high of a bill. It was ridiculous. So I just gave it to my friend and he gave me Litecoin for it. So yeah, that's like a really simple example. I'm sure there's several other ways you can go about it, but you technically don't need a bank account to get cryptocurrency. Yeah, what is AMC up to? I haven't looked at it. Carlos, are you in El Salvador at the moment? Oh yeah, AMC popping. There are more smartphones than people. Yeah, I mean, in El Salvador, yeah, I mean, I believe it. I don't know much about El Salvador, but I feel like that's probably the case for almost most countries at this point. I don't know if I've been to El Salvador or not. There's a good chance I have. When I was a kid, we pretty much did the whole entire Central America and Caribbean. I just I just don't have any memory of it myself. Very cool. Born living in there. Nice, cool. Always good getting those inside scoops. Bitcoin still in the top 10. Berkshire Hathaway right behind Bitcoin. US vaccines at 52%, at least one dose. Germany really caught up. Right now at 45.5%, one dose. India came back drastically after their big run up here. %13.4% vaccinated. Normandy commemorates D-Day with Small Crowds, Big Heart. That was this weekend. The largest amphibious invasion. That's an interesting way to put it. Crypto's up a little bit, recovering nicely so far today. Let's get kind of ready here for the market to open. Nothing really too much to be discussing. LMNL, a bit of a sell-off here. So be careful at the open. Right now we got 2 minutes and 50 seconds before the market opens. We do want to keep in mind that LMNL and almost every other lead gap right now is in a consolidation mode. It's not on the second leg or it's not on the front side. It's up for the day maybe, 75% up, but then it did pull back here around 20%. So now what we'd be looking for at the market open is that second leg to the upside. And then we could start trading the front side. And once it breaks over the former high is really where you could get a little bit more aggressive buying breakouts and pullbacks and stuff. Usually in this area, I'll be looking for dip buys, whatnot. We'll see if LMNL holds the highs, maybe for a red to green move or something like that. We clearly have big support around 5.5, so let's go ahead, mark that zone. We got 5. It seems like 5 is actually a little bit more substantial in this ticker, but pre-market 5.5 is coming in kind of hot. $6 is spot to watch. So 5.5 right in this area. There's definitely a few pivots for sure. I'll go ahead and mark it because right now it's definitely an important pre-market zone. So you can see we bounced off this area twice with a higher low here. So we'll see. If we do pull back to this area, that would be kind of an aggressive pullback. Maybe about, I don't know, 7% or so sell-off. They LMNL 10 million float, but a 30 million market cap. I mean shares outstanding, 120 market cap, and they have an FDA approval for one of their drugs on Friday. So that's why I popped Friday here. Extended hours. Yeah, Gene, it's quite frustrating. I keep trying to get an appointment here and there's not one. Oh, it's exhausting. But I bet you in like 3 to 6 weeks it's gonna start opening up for anyone that really wants it. I feel like, well, right now it's open for anyone that wants it, but just really hard to get an appointment. So like hopefully appointments are gonna start becoming more available. A lot of my friends here are vaccinated already, though. They're all kind of like hustling through some backdoor. All right, guys, 10 seconds here. Good luck, everyone. Comment collected. All right, LMNL finding support here. Big move. AREC actually looking like it has some support coming in as well. Worth watching, I think. 6, 5, and 7 are the critical zones. 7, 2 maybe even. Here we go, new minute. Good volume on that open for sure. Decent support there at 7.9. I mean 5.9. LEDS popping up. We've seen this ticker from the day before. Good momentum here. 4 million shares outstanding. They've been on a really strong multi-run. Multi-day run. High of 31. I'm not trying to get too aggressive right now. That was a good pop on leads. Until I really see a pattern I feel a little bit more comfortable with, it's easy just to kind of rush into something. QTS, I'm not sure this one came out, I don't know, just a big market cap. LEDS really taking center stage here. RMED had a huge sell-off. Wonder if we're going to see a little bit more support on this one. Maybe closer to 6. Go ahead and put alert on it. BNGO. Remember we used to trade BNGO all the time? It's a little bit of a slow mover. I'm not sure if we'll be trading it. Wow, LMNL so far being a bit of a letdown. AREC finding some support. Still, I feel like being a little bit more cautious is the way to go at the moment. Possible red to green on AREC. Good call on Nicholas with the LEDS S3 form. It's basically an offering potential or news. LEDS finding support there at 28. There's definitely a chance it's going to rip higher. I've been a little bit of a chicken trading LEDS. I didn't end up trading it on Friday where we had a really good front side. Big volume here on LEDS. Short float on LEDS at 23% on FinViz. So it is a higher shorted stock. But I'm sure there's already been tons of covering. Maybe even one of the primary driving factors behind this ticker. Wow, AMC there back above 50, holding really well, 7% rally. BNGO still popping. I'm a little bit disappointed in the open we got. I was actually expecting somewhat of a decent open, and it's kind of the last thing we're getting right now. But then again, the market doesn't really care what anyone expects, so I'm not really disappointed, more just understanding that my call was off, and that's why I'm being kind of extra conservative right now, not really jumping into stuff. AREC, American Resources Corporation, U.S. Thermal Coal Energy Company, 150 market cap, 38 million float. They said that it came out with a catalyst today at 8 a.m. Succeeds in achieving 99.5% purity rare earth element from wasted magnets. It sounds like a good catalyst. Possible red to green. See the daily ticker here, if it goes green on the day. So close. Possible break here at 415. Chipping away. Officially green on the day. RMED, similar situation here. Ripping right now. Trying to get back to pre-market highs. 7.5 is going to be probably one of the bigger next targets on this ticker. Both tickers look quite compelling to want to trade. Quick flush there, pullback. RMED has a 40% short interest, so this ticker might squeeze heavy. I'm going to get rid of my alert. It's not going to go off anyway. LEDS, I mean not LEDS. LMNL also kind of finding support here. All right, guys, we're getting some nice turnarounds. This might be the time to start getting aggressive again. RMED flying. LMNL really pushing higher, but falling volume. CLNE falling off. REC. RMED looks like it's about to be halted here, huh? RMED halted. There it goes. 5-minute halt, probably opening up at 43.28. Maybe some of that action is going to spill right over to AREC. It's just a lot of sell volume on this ticker. Did not hold at all. Selling off. CLNE, I think this ticker was fumbling around on Reddit for a little bit. This thing is diving. I haven't really traded LMNL too much. It was a serious pullback. It's very wicky. That's a bit of a reason why I'm not jumping on it. LEDS still selling off here. It was a bit of a unfortunate flush on this ticker. I'm not sure how well it's going to hold. It's a lot of sell volume on this one so far. Leads found a little bit of support. Looks like BNGO is crawling towards bigger support at $8 right by VWAP. LMNL also found support around the 9 E main VWAP, right above 5.9. Let's see if there are any other halts brewing right now. RMED is really probably the main ticker that we're looking at in terms of halted. So it's going to open up really soon, about 2 minutes. BNGO getting really close to some major support right now. Could be a really good little dip trade. No trades yet on my end since the open. So pre-market so far for me was a little bit, it was just a little bit more consistent. Next, one of our pre-market tickers, this one's all over the place, very choppy, not really worth trading. I'm going to take it off my watch list. All right, RMED, another mid in 10 seconds. Express coming back. Express and AKD. What was the other one? Forgot. All these like random retail tickers are popping. All last week as well. All right, guys. RMED gonna open up soon here. This could be new highs for this ticker. Wow, opened up higher. A little bit volatile for sure. Congrats anyone riding RMED. That was a nice continuation from that halt. This is a short squeeze candidate. Pretty much the only news that's riding on this one is because it has a high short interest, over 40%. Has a 3 million float, so it has that squeeze potential. And actually did have okay earnings come out about a month ago, but still crawling higher there. A lot of dilution on this stock. Huge resistance here at 9.5. It's actually holding. I thought it was going to maybe flush a little harder, so the fact that it's holding here is kind of a good bullish sign. Might try a small size. Small size there at 93, very small size. Selling off here a little bit. Try to average down. I have a very, very small size on this ticker. Oh, just realized my open is not there. I think we might be able to run to 9.5. So I want to kind of see what this ticker has, what kind of potential we might be able to see on this ticker. Still decent momentum. Possible break there at 8.5. New minute in 3, 2, 1. Try to take profits there, or close that on this one. I'm still looking for a move to 9.5, but felt like maybe can consolidate here a little bit longer, so I figured let's take some profits off the table. I probably could have took profits at a little bit of a better spot, but on a ticker with a 3 million float and 40% short interest, I felt like there was a good chance we could just keep ripping right away, and I wanted to give it at least 2 chances to do that. Did a very small position size overall on RMED. This could be the rip. It's really holding this area very well. Still watching possible move. Maybe it's going to flush again before it finds bigger support. I mean, this was a pretty messy situation we saw with RMED before. Morning, Brent. Brent, are you talking about a controller for Call of Duty on the PC? Or what are you talking about? I'm curious. RMED. Possible break of 8.5. I don't think I'm going to trade this one unless it maybe halts to the downside or finds consolidation near the downside. I just feel like it's too risky getting stuck in a flush right now. Oh, there it goes. There's the flush. See, that's exactly what I was kind of cautious about. 8%, almost 8%. Sketchy. All right, Brent says yes, nice. Watching RMED very cautiously. 7.7. Still chipping lower, and stickers. Ooh, might get halted. If it keeps selling off like this, it may get halted. This could also be a phenomenal bounce zone. LEDS crawling up nicely as well. Yeah, good call on next. Just checked it out. Really good move. RMED actually ended up doing a pretty decent bounce here. I was kind of wanting to buy it, but I wasn't ready yet in that area. Yeah, great call on next. Beautiful move back above VWAP. I actually ended up writing this one off. But wow, that was a phenomenal move. I'm not sure how much energy this ticker has in it, but technically it's riding above some really key areas right now. U1 crawling up really good to the front side. Look at ATOS from 4.9 to 564. That's actually not that crazy, but at the same time, it's very consistent the way it's moving. Any XT has a catalyst that I got price target operated. NEXT is tricky. It just looks tricky. Looks like 315 is going to maybe crack and then it's going to go back up, but I don't know. It could easily keep flashing. I don't see a clear entry on it. RMED had a great solid bounce here off of VWAP. I thought we were going to crack VWAP a little bit, maybe go into the 7.3s or so, and that's where I wanted to start accumulating this one. So I was a little bit cautious, overly cautious on my rebuy. Yeah, Michael. All the important links are on that first link below the video description. I'll post it here as well, tradejournal.co/connect. We got a Discord, Foundation video series, and a few other things there. RMED crawling up again. A lot of buyers here. I think that flush made a few people a little bit nervous though. Me included. Maybe I'm just talking about myself. It's kind of sketchy. Buyers there pretty decent at 8. Might try to get long for a possible rip back to 8.5 on RMED. Might get stuck with a small flush though. I'll go small size just to manage my risk. See what we can do here. There we go at 8. Possible move over 8.13. That's what I'm waiting for. We had a pretty nice 7% run. Had about a 3% pullback. See what kind of, if we get some continuation here. New minute. Sell pressure coming in. Still holding this area overall okay. Let's see if we can continue that momentum. This would be a good place to potentially average down. Got stopped out, unfortunately. at 8. Still looking pretty good, I gotta say. How to manage my risk, but there's definitely some good potential here on this one. Could have traded that a bit quicker, but it's so hard to say with these kind of tickers. Move back above 97 could be a bullish sign. It's trying. It's unfortunate that we were stopped out at the worst spot. I was the perfect low there. Oh, try to jump on that. Possible breakout there at 8. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's a shame. Oh well, it is what it is. I played that one totally wrong. I got shaken out at the worst spot. Had to put a stop on the potential risk. It is a bit of a flushy ticker. Right now we're in consolidation. We're not on the front side. So since we weren't on the front side, that should have been an indicator for me to manage my risk a little bit better. So hard to say what this ticker is going to do. It's a little bit chop-tastic at the moment. LMNL, guys, is actually really a potential amazing bottom buy right now. Yeah. Could have been a good money trade. I'm still pretty sure we're going to at least hit 8.5. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. So right idea, timing wasn't great on RMED. I did want to keep watching that one to see if I could learn anything. I don't know. I don't really know if I learned anything, but at the same time, just it was good to see that it worked, but it was just my personal error. So I had the right judgment, just the wrong execution. LMNL is definitely finding some really, really good potential dip buying, I feel like. We got huge support here at 5.6. The only thing unfortunate is the rate of change on this ticker is just really lacking anything exciting. So I don't know if I'm going to actually end up dip trading it. Yeah. Sweet. So it looks like even though we did have a really nice trade on RMED, we actually ended up giving back more profits because I used bigger size on the second trade, and that was actually the loser, even though percentage-wise it was a much smaller loser. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So I'm going to wrap up the day here, giving back a little bit of profits. I was up over 500 pre-market. It's always really annoying when you're up pre-market, you continue trading, and then you give back profits. I find that somehow to be one of the most annoying things because it's like the more you work, the more money you lose. I don't know. It could have been like a $700, $800, $900 a day by that one difference because I was up, I think $700, and if I just took profits, I think I would have then wrapped up maybe even $900 profit. So it's interesting. You got to really analyze these things and think about it. And that's why every day I spend about an hour reviewing and documenting my trades so I can hopefully trade a little bit better the next day. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Ramoli, the police sirens in Berlin, everything here is just like non-stop noise all the time. Although I gotta say, where we are is like really quiet at night, and like during the day it is pretty quiet. It's really just the police sirens we live right next to a fire station, so it's like, you know, going off all the time. All right, guys, I'll see you then first thing tomorrow morning. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. Really appreciate it. Easiest way to support the channel. And like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Yeah, that is what it is. See you guys.